to let you in on a little secret. I didn't start studying dream work until about 10 years ago. And I didn't take it up because I saw it as a great way to make money. I did it because this work reflects my values. It gives me great joy to help someone understand their dreams. And since I've stepped into this role, I've had some of the happiest moments of my life. Why am I telling you all this now? Well, my guest, Katrine Horn, has taken a similar path. She calls herself a former professional people pleaser, and it took her a long time to realize that her sense of value came from who she is, not what she does. And now she helps people over 50 find their femininity and worthiness through her Femininity Formula. Welcome to the Dream Power Show, Katrine.
Thank you so much, Debbie. I'm thrilled to be talking to you and to our audience.
Oh, well, thank you. Katrine, I had a guest on a few weeks ago who spoke of women over 50 as being in their second act. Do you see it that way too?
Well, what I see for women over 50 is that we have no longer got any time to lose, right? So we are so ready to have everything that we desire take place. We are ready to experience what we've been dreaming of all our lives. And I know that you're big into nighttime dreams and daytime dreams. So to me, self-love is about making your dreams and desires what is most important to you, really. And then you can add on the self-care, which is really the framework that allows you to make all that happen.
Yeah. Do you see older women as realizing that, life is a flow and a change, or do you see them thinking that, oh, well, things that worked for me when I was 20 are still going to work for me now?
Well, I believe that we're all here on a journey, on a spiritual journey. So the only thing we can be certain of is that we will be changing all the time. We can't stop time and we can't really stop everything that happens to us. Like we will go through menopause, right? Whether we want it or not. Our children will get older, whether we want it or not. So there's no point in wishing for this permanence of when we were 22, 29 or whatever to go on forever, because that is just unrealistic. We want to embrace what is really happening. And then we want to enjoy being 50 or over, is how I see it.
Unfortunately, though, too many older women get depressed when they look in the mirror and they realize that they're not 35 anymore, don't have the body they have at 35, or even the uh, activity or the health that they've had when they were younger. How do we get over the belief that our outer image is what defines us, and what people see is what defines us, and that's all that matters?
Yeah, that is just a product really of our society where we're focused really on youth. We love youth. We see youth in the advertisements. We see youth in the magazines, on the screen, everywhere. And that leads us, I mean, I say us as women over 50, to compare ourselves. Comparison is really something that is in the masculine formula, and I like to work with the femininity formula, which is instead of comparison, we work with collaboration. So as soon as we're comparing ourselves to somebody, to something, as long as we are saying, oh, this person is more beautiful than me, or this person is thinner than me, or this person is more elegant than me, we know that we're not operating from our power source. We know that we are not in our femininity formula because we're using comparison. And I'm 53. And if I start comparing myself to women on the screen who are 29, well, then I'm sure I'm going to lose, aren't I? I'm fighting a losing battle. Whereas if I allow myself to be the age I am, and I allow my wrinkles to take place, right? I allow all that wonderfulness to be. I can concentrate on who I am on the inside. And I believe that who I am on the inside spills out into who I am on the outside. So I really don't have to be comparing myself. I don't have to be using a lot of beauty products or anything like that. I can let myself be me. And if I integrate my sensuality, if I integrate how I can be me, how I can be looking my best, right? If I throw out my old rags, if I stop wearing sneakers and a big sweatshirt where you can't really see my shape, well, that way I can actually allow myself to feel a lot better about myself, because the thing about clothes is that obviously that gives a signal out to the outside world about who I am, but the signal goes inside too. So if I put on lovely clothes, if I do my hair up, well, then I feel so much better.
As you were talking, I kept thinking about how, I'm in the baby boom generation. And when we were younger, the media was all about building us up. We were the youth, the youth rebellion, the youth excitement, we were going to change the world. And it was all about the youth culture. And we were, because before our generation, nobody talked about a youth culture. So we were kind of the first generation to have that label put upon us. And I think it sort of carries through as we got older, keep thinking about that and keep thinking, well, we must keep looking young. We must, chase everything that talks about being young and being, wrinkle free, or have everything that, be on all the killer diets so that we don't gain any ounces, so we look young. And, we wear the fashions that the younger people wear because, that will keep us looking young, which is, sort of a false idea. But I also was thinking as you were talking that with age, wrinkles come with age, but with age also comes wisdom. And a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, if I can just respond to that, this wisdom is really what makes your life so much more enjoyable if you let it, right? But if you're fighting it, if you're not allowing your wisdom to come through to you, and if you're not really using it to shape your life, well, then I can only say yes. Well, yes, I can understand it's better to be young, because if you're not really benefiting from all the advantages of being older, well, then obviously you want to be younger.
Absolutely. And you've actually called life after 50 being a fantastic opportunity for a woman. So, what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean that, as I said earlier, we've got no time to lose. So that makes us very, very focused. Most of us don't have any children, like toddlers, to take care of. So that means we've liberated a huge amount of time. Many of us have got good careers. Many of us are making good money. So we're really in a place where we are able to enjoy life. Only we haven't really cultivated the faculty for enjoying life, because many of us have been operating in the zone where everybody else's needs were more important than our own. So we just need to re-educate ourselves into the beliefs that our needs, our desires, our dreams, if you wish, are really what is absolutely most important. And then once we realize that, once we really inhabit that knowledge, well, that means we can actually put all that wisdom you just talked about into realizing the dreams, into experiencing our desires, and really designing the life we wanted. Because we've been going through life saying, I want this, I want that. But these have perhaps been wants that came from a sort of scarcity syndrome, if I can call it like that. A want is like, if we want a swimming pool, we want a new car, we want a husband even, it's because we haven't got it. So everything we desire to create from a want perspective is going to be ultimately unsatisfactory, right? So now after 50, I mean, it could be 45, obviously, it could be 55, but when we are at this stage in life, we've got so much wisdom, as you said, that we are able to realize that having a swimming pool or a husband who takes care of us, it's not going to be fulfilling, right? It's not going to be what we really want. Those are just superficial wants. We can go so much deeper and actually access our real desires. And that is when it gets to be really juicy and exciting.
Yeah. Well, I think so. one of the things that I've noticed is that so many people just, I'd say, like sleepwalk through life. They're either doing what they were told to do or doing what their friends do or what their family does. And they never do make or take that deep dive into saying or answering that question, what do I want? Like you said. So how does a woman who maybe isn't quite sure how to answer that question, how does she start to find the answer to that question?
Yeah, well, most women don't know what they want or what they desire. So that is all very normal because we've been asked to set our desires aside so that our children could have the lives that we want for them, so that whoever, our parents, I mean, we have been taking care of so many people all through life. And we have sort of been shutting our own desires down because it's quite painful to have those desires present in your life and not listening to them, right? So we've had the choice of either listening to desires we felt we couldn't fulfill or shutting them down. And we have chosen to shut them down often because that was actually the least painful solution, if you see what I mean. Because having our desires, being aware of our desires and not fulfilling them is actually very, very cruel, isn't it? So it's totally normal not to know what your desires are. Often we try to work out from our minds what we should be desiring, like we should be desiring that designer house, that architect built house at the seashore. We should be desiring to travel the world. We should be desiring this or that. But those are not real desires. The real desires are so much more profound, I believe. And once we dive into that, as you say, once we stop the sleepwalking, once we become aware of what is really available to us, well, it's so much more than the swimming pool and the designer home, right? It is so much more profound. And I find that often this has got to do with love. It's got to do with contribution. It's got to do with connection and community. And all the rest are just really means to an end, if you see what I mean.
So, how does a woman discover her worthiness, that inner part of her that is the part that really counts?
Yeah. So worthiness is not something you need to discover because you already have it, right? It's a birthright. You were born worthy. Everybody is worthy. So you can just go ahead right now and decide that you are worthy. Sometimes some of us, and I used to be like that, I need to have a lot of self-care in place so that I remind myself that I am worthy because I know that I am worthy, but sometimes it just slips my mind, if you see what I mean. It's sometimes we don't focus on that and we make other people's needs more important than our own. So for me, not to slip back in that place where I feel unworthy, I need to keep reminding myself that I am totally worthy by treating myself, by rewarding myself, by creating little or big pleasures for myself. So I make sure to have that self care in place that keeps reminding me that actually I'm the most important thing to me on this planet.
How can people find out more about you and your work?
Oh, well, they can just go to my website, which is www.katrinehorn, KATRINEHORN.com. And I've got lots of free resources on my website. I've got some online courses that they can participate in. And if they would like some individual attention, that is, of course, also possible. But it all starts about with a deep dive, if I can call it like that, into my website where you can see, well, really what speaks to you and where you want to start.
We've been speaking with Katrine Horn about femininity over 50.